All right, what's going on? Kevin Holt here, Baller Hoops. Here with Strika, the legend, the myth. Thank you for being here with us.
Coach Holt, thank you so much for having me. Legend's a bit much, but we try our best. Uh,
You do a great job, great service for the basketball community. I know for girls especially that you do a really good job. So gotta give
thank,
you your flowers for sure.
I appreciate that. And before we start, once again, I want to congratulate you
I
guys in the
appreciate that.
school on winning the NCISA 4A state championship three-peat.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
I'm happy for you, Coach Ray, Coach Drakeford, all the kids that you guys have always really supported my work, and I'm very grateful once again to be back on the program here for regional week.
I appreciate that. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit. We're going to talk about the regional finals. This come down to the last 16 games. It's kind of weird saying that because, it's usually been 8 games, but now that we're at 8A, move to 16 games, a lot of basketball to be played. We're going to start with 1A. I actually have those teams here. Hopefully you can see it. And we'll start with Falls Lake Academy and Wilson Prep Academy. This is the Eastern region. Uh, for Falls Lake has been a solid program over the years, from what I've known. I feel like they'll have a chance to go ahead and win it. I don't know if you know much about those two programs.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Okay.
Falls Lake Academy, of course, led by Coach Brad Thompson, whose daughter Emerson currently plays at Campbell University, was a
Yep.
fantastic player at Falls Lake Academy, 2,000-point scorer. This year, his team is really young, led by Marley Siebels, freshman standout guard, uh, Fab 40 alum. I got to make sure I plug the Fab 40,
Shout out to Fab 40.
Bruton Company.
Yep.
Uh, but yes, led by Marley Siebels as a freshman. They've been fantastic this year. Worthy of a 1 seed based on how well they've played results wise. They've beaten some good teams. Vance Charter a couple times is their biggest rival in their conference.
Yep.
19-2 overall record. Only losses to, if I'm not mistaken, Uwari Charter early in the year in South Granville. Uh, I think they're a fantastic team. And then on the
Yep.
other side, Wilson Prep Academy. The Tigers have been knocking on the door for the last few years on the girls' side. Of course, the boys' program's had a lot of success over the recent years.
Yeah, they have.
Uh, but this year the girls' team has kind of been the team of prominence out there. Very talented group. My Angel Brimage at forward, a sophomore that has a lot of upside. Paris Best at guard, Chloe Murphy, Malia Toms, who's a transfer from Wilson Hunt, that's really come
Mhm.
up big for them in a lot of these games down the stretch.
Yeah.
They lost some tough ones to. They lost 3 games to all the teams that are still playing in the regionals, and I know we're going to talk about most of them later in the program. So
Yeah.
uh, Prep deserves to be here. That will be the lone game of the day on Thursday because East Carolina men's team has a game later that evening. So
Yes.
that will be the only game of the day on Thursday out at ECU.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to have the only game of that day, but I'm sure they'll be prepared to play. To talk a little bit about the West, Robbinsville is kind of on a Cinderella story in a sense, but they've been knocking on that door for the last few years. They beat Urari Charter in the last game, and then they also upset Thomas Classical, if I'm not mistaken, or Thomas Jefferson Classical, which I thought had a really good chance
Yes.
to make it to the state finals, and for them to upset them, I'm rolling with them. I think Robbinsville has a really good chance to go ahead and make it to the state championship. And who knows what happens when you get there? Because once you're there, anybody can win it because you don't really know much about the team. You're kind of just studying what you can see on film, but you haven't played a lot. They're on a different region, and it'll be a good overall game. So
Uh,
I think, who do you think could win that state championship?
Well, to talk about that West game a little bit,
Okay.
Robbinsville's got some very talented players. They've got another freshman that played in the Fab 40, Zaylee Chickalili, who's going to be very good for them for the future, really good player for them.
Okay.
However, Andrews, which is like a 15-minute drive from Robbinsville, roughly, is also worthy of being in this position. They've beaten Robbinsville 3 times this year already, twice in the regular season and in the conference tournament. Both of these teams are in the Smoky Mountain Conference, which is the conference that Cherokee is in.
Okay.
They both did take their lumps against them, which who hasn't?
Yeah. That's true.
But that conference, to go back to the previous rounds of the state tournament, the final 4 teams out west were all teams from the Smoky Mountain Conference. If you also include Hiwassee Dam and who was the other team that was left? Who did Andrews?
The college prep
Academy. Summit Charter Academy. All 4 of those teams are in the same conference as Cherokee.
Yep.
Andrews has these 2 really talented guards, Knox Davis and Dre Cutshaw, who both average double figures on the year. And they're going to be – I think they're going to be a tough out. I actually think Andrews has the edge in this game, and I also think on the east side, I feel like Wilson Prep has an advantage in that game.
Okay.
For my state championship pick, I think it will come down to the last possession, but I feel like Wilson Prep's size will be the difference in this game and their versatility. So I would roll with the Tigers in that regard.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue with you because you probably know a little more about these 1A than me because I've never seen any of the teams.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
1A better than people.
Moving on to 2A, I'm gonna call this the Cherokee Invitational because realistically, Cherokee's just like I said on one of my posts when they were playing Queens Grant. I think they're the best public school team, period. Now, you can say they might be the best team in the state, regardless of public-private. But for sure, I think because they beat Lake Norman in Cherokee in a very intense game, I feel like they're the best team right now. In the overtime game, yes. So, but do you have anything on the Pamlico County or Gates County?
I can give. I think I can give a little breakdown on both.
Okay.
In the East, I do think, regardless of the matchup, I 100% agree that Cherokee's the team to beat, and I'll talk about that matchup with Bishop too.
Sure.
But Pamlico and Gates County are 2 of the best teams in the 252 area code. They've been that all season. Pamlico's got a lot of winning pedigree. They've been there before. They've been to states before. They won states in 2019 as a 1A program. Okay. April Rose does a fantastic job out there. She's got 2 main horses that can go, Nia Clark and Sydney Whitley Reese, 2 junior guards that are very versatile. Nia shoots the ball. She shot the cover off the ball all season. She's been the leading scorer this year. Sydney Whitley Reese has always been a consistent performer for Coach Rose. She had a 34-point 19 rebound game in the 4th round against Lakewood. And they're going to be the main part of this squad. As if they want to win the East Regional, both of them are going to have a big game. In Gates County's case, they're also a team that has been very good over the last couple of seasons, led by London Barber, senior guard who can really play. Zoe Nowell, a post player that has really emerged as one of the best rebounders in the East. They've got a couple other really good pieces that can really fill in, and they've been very balanced throughout the season themselves. So I actually think of the East Regional games, this might arguably be one of the most competitive ones, if you ask me.
Okay. That'd be interesting.
Yes, for sure. And then out west, obviously, Cherokee walks into the last couple of weeks as the favorite to win 2A.
Yes.
But we also got to remember Bishop McGinnis is a top-notch program under
for
Coach
sure.
Robinson. He has found a way to get back, even with losing Adelaide Jernigan to graduation
Mhm.
now at NC State, and he's also had great players in the past before that too. But
Yes.
Jenna Moore and Claire Sullivan are going to have big performances for both of them to have a chance in this game. Uh, Ultimately, after watching Cherokee a couple times, I've seen them a lot throughout the year. Beating Lake Norman was a big time win for them. They also, like I said, beat Queens Grant in the fourth round.
Mhm.
Withstood a fantastic performance from Zamaya Bynum, who had
Yeah,
30.
shout out to Z. She's such a hooper. I love hoopers, so she's
Yeah,
a hooper.
she's a problem. Misa Garris also had a big night too.
Yeah.
Even with 21 missed free throws and Jocelyn Stamper, who's going
Mm.
to be a D1 post player for sure.
Yeah.
With Jocelyn Stamper fouling out with 5 minutes left, the fact that they were able to keep their double-digit lead with basically all guards out there
Hmm.
says a lot about the makeup of their squad and how they're able to be so
Yeah.
balanced. They had 6 players in double figures last night too, so that was
Yeah.
a big time performance from them.
Hmm.
It's hard for me to pick against Cherokee the way they've played.
Okay. Yeah, Cherokee is my favorite to win states, and I'm hopefully next year I want to knock on wood we can get a Cannon and Cherokee game. We
Sign
will
me
get.
up. I want to see it.
I would love to be a part of that, but we'll see one day. Hopefully we can get that. But Cherokee is just a like I saw Cherokee on video before, but actually being at the Cherokee Invitational and seeing the culture that they've built for basketball is amazing because it's not just like a lot of people might think, oh, it's just a bunch of girls that really like to play together. No, they play really hard. They play well together. They shoot the ball really well, and they defend at a high level. And I think that's like really good to win a championship. And if they don't win, it will be a shock
Yes, I think it would be probably one of the greatest upsets of all time if they
for
don't win.
sure.
I'm not trying to disrespect the other three teams left
No, sir.
because they all deserve to be in regionals 100%.
Right. They made it for a reason. It's like it's no shot at anybody that
Yes.
made it there because at the end of the day, we all believe that you got there for a reason, but it's just that team is really good. For 3A, we have Northwood and Goldsboro and East Surrey, always and North Wilkes. Honestly, I have no clue about North Wilkes or East Surrey. I've heard of Northwood more so the boys side than the girls, but if you have any type of information, I feel like Goldsboro was in one of your events.
Yes, they were. They were in the S4L showcase the last 2 years. Uh, I guess we'll start east on this one
Yeah.
too. Uh, Northwood coming off of a upset win over Kinston, who was the number one seed in the East.
Mm.
Many people thought Kinston would uh, reach the regionals and play Goldsboro in the rematch of their MLK Day game at the Brenda Ingram Invitational.
Yep.
But uh, Aaliyah Roberts and the Glover twins, Michaela and Shayla, are have been longtime standouts for this Northwood program.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they did a great job defensively. They held them to 33 points last night. Or yes, last night. They found a way to win even in a low scoring game like that. And that's kind of been their MO throughout the season. And Northwood's produced a lot of great players in the
Yeah.
past. I think of that state championship squad that had Liv Porter and company. Uh, they've always been a consistent performer, uh, and it looks like they're back to their usual ways.
Yeah.
Uh, but Goldsboro is also a very talented team.
Okay.
Isaiah Boyer is one of the top unsigned posts in the state. She's getting a lot of D2 interests,
Okay.
and she's really been the force behind this Goldsboro squad, who defends well and has also found ways to win even when they struggle offensively. They've got Kennedy Barber, freshman wing, that's going to be a very talented player for a while. Alyssa Brown and Amari Brookham bring a lot of toughness and outside shooting and defense. So I think that game is a possession game either way. I would really say so.
That's good. For East Surrey and North Wilkes, East Surrey's been on a really good run. North Wilkes has been a team that's been here before. Not much on them. I'm gonna go with the higher seed on this one, honestly, because I think East Surrey is there for a reason. I don't know if you know much about either team, but
Well, I guess that's what I'm here for then.
once we get to the hires, the
I,
Charlotte area,
I
I
got you.
guess you.
But I actually no, honestly, I could tell you about both of these teams.
Okay.
Surrey played in the Blue Chip Fall League that is
Okay.
helped run by Brittany Cox Hudson, who's a fantastic coach, state championship winning coach, does
Yeah.
great work with assist you recruiting.
Yeah. Shout out to this youth.
Shout out to Coach Britt. And East Surrey played in the Blue Chip Fall League, and they may not look like a team that's they may not look like a team that would intimidate you, but when you watch them play, they know how to cut off the ball. Their shot selection is efficient, and Maggie Sechrist, who's committed to UVA Wise for volleyball, is also a fantastic basketball player as well. She has really been the engine for them all season. I'm not surprised that East Surrey made it this far because they've always been they've really been this good all season. I think they're the 1 seed for the West, so they've certainly deserved that position. But North Wilkes is also a very tough opponent too, led by Meredith Tomko and Shaylin Bear, both juniors. They were in the state championship game last year, lost to Southeast Alamance in the 2A championship. They kind of struggled offensively in that one.
Right.
They've worked through some injuries, even though I think they finished second in conference play, but they found a way to beat some really good teams throughout the playoffs, including beating Surrey Central in the last round, who was a top seed. So that game is also a possession either way. This might be two. I think both of these regionals will be competitive.
Yeah, I think so as well. We move on to 4A, where I think this one is going to be another good one with the 4A, which I had a surprise upset. I really wasn't expecting Pisgah won a game. These ads. So you got Fairmont versus First Flight, and then you got Maiden versus Pisgah. Do you have any information on the Fairmont versus First Flight?
Fairmont and First Flight. Both of these teams kind of been actually, I could start in Fairmont's case. They have long been a consistent 20-plus win team the last few years, and this year they broke through by going to T. Wingate Andrews, who I thought was one of the top contenders in 4A, and a fantastic program. Went there and won in the way they have known to win, which is rock fight all day. It was 31-29.
Yeah, it was
Fairmont,
very low score.
Yeah, I was going to say, Fairmont is known for being tough defensively, and they've got this guard tandem, Lyric McNair and Aaliyah Duran, who are both sophomores that could really play. Lyric played for Team Elite on the 3SSB circuit last year, and is starting to get some D1 interest and looks. Okay. For First Flight has been underratedly another one of the best teams in the 252 this year, led by standout guard Maddie Beatson, who, when I saw them a couple weeks ago, she had like a 35-point game where she was making everything from distance, and that's what she does. They also got a Mount Olive committed guard, Abby Miles, who's also a prolific shooter. Uh, I will say I'm kind of leaning Fairmont in this game. I think Fairmont defensively could will likely give first fight some problems, but don't be surprised if it's a sea of blue in there on a Friday because
Yeah,
first fight they travel to see their girls and boys team play. So
I
that's gonna
love
be.
it.
I think there will still be a very competitive game.
Okay, I love that. I mean, I'm loving Maiden. Maiden versus Pisgah. I'm loving Maiden. Ava Anderson is the truth. Been watching her since she was in sixth grade. She plays with Tennessee Flight EYBL. Um,
UAA now.
talented. Yeah, she's very talented. Oh, they're UAA now. My
Yes.
bad. Forgot about that. No, out of the travel ball world, so I don't really know as much. But she's been hooping this year. They're undefeated due to a technicality. They had one loss, which was to North Lincoln, but with North Lincoln forfeiting those games, Maiden is undefeated. And they have a big Kiera Cole, I think it's Culver. Don't get me wrong. But she's been really solid for them as well. But the engine is Ava Anderson. She's averaging around 20 something points per game. And she's literally a player that gets it and goes. She can shoot the ball. She can create for others. Um, for Pisgah, they upset my matchup that I thought was going to happen. I wanted Stuart Kramer to make it to the regional finals. I wanted to see Ava Anderson, and now I'm drawing a blank.
On Hollins.
Oshana Holland, Wake Forest commit. She's the leading scorer in North Carolina basketball history. And they did what I said. I said if they can hold her to 20 points, they can win. And they did that. They
Exactly.
held her to 20 points exactly. Like that's just a basketball thing. If their best player is under their average, you have a better chance to win. And Pisgah did a really good job of doing that. So that means they lock in on the defensive side. So it'll
They
be
do.
very similar to that game with Maiden. If you can hold Ava to around 16 points, 17 points, and limit her assist totals, I think Pisgah has a chance. I'm going to lean towards Maiden because I really do like that program and they've been winning some good games. Uh, but I think they can pull it off. But Pisgah's going to give up a good battle for sure.
Yeah, watch out for Kylie Leonard and Chandler Lowry and Jane Cody Apisca. They're a very good group over there. Also, I was going to say Maiden is a team that I've wanted to watch in person all season, and I hadn't been able to. They've been so consistent, even in the loss to North Lincoln. That's no longer a loss.
Yes.
Uh, that was still a very competitive game. It was that game was close, and they ended up beating them in the second game anyway. So
Yep. They
they
did.
are they are a team with a lot of really good weapons, and also Willow Bass is an X factor. I think that could play a big role for them if they want to win the entire thing.
Okay. I think that's going to be a good matchup. I think both of them are going to be highly competitive. Moving on to 5A, Southeast Elements. You got them over there on the east. They'll go against Rocky Mount, and then the considered dark horse, North Lincoln versus Forest Hills. For I'll talk a little bit about North Lincoln. I watched them versus Northwest Cabarrus. Highly competitive game, but you could tell that North Lincoln just has that factor of wanting it a little bit more. Ashlyn Black was amazing in that game. She's a strong guard that can handle the ball. Reese Burke shoots it well. Lydia Cipriano, excuse me, big point forward. I looked at her and I was like, oh, this is Jokic. She handles the ball well. She facilitates rebounds and she gets them into a lot of the stuff. Um, I'm missing someone. They have one more guard that's really
Allie
tough
Smith,
as well. Say it again.
Allie Smith, right?
Yes, Allie Smith. That's who it was. Shoots the ball very crafty. She
Yes.
has a really good feel for the game. Gets to the rack with ease, and she uses her setup moves to get herself to the rim. They can score in so many different ways that I feel like they should be back in the state championship this year.
North Lincoln did make it to. They actually made it to the regional final last
Yeah.
year and lost to Stuart Kramer. Uh,
Mm. And Stuart Kramer lost to, was it Southeast that they lost to?
they lost to Western Alamance in 3A.
Western Elements.
Ali Sykes and Tina Bowers.
Yep.
They North Lincoln, of course, had to forfeit 17 wins due to an eligible player, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But by winning their last game of the season, they still made the playoffs. They didn't
Yep.
complain about what their seed was. They went to work. They
Yep.
went and beat some fantastic teams, including a very good Northwest Cabarrus team
Yes.
yesterday.
Yes.
I'm sure you were out there, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
I was at that game.
And honestly, their main horses are very good.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure I respect Forest Hills because they beat an Oak Grove team that was undefeated and also thought that they had a good chance at getting to
Yeah.
states as well.
For sure.
But Najaya Wingo and Leah Melton average double. They're part of a group that they got 4 that average double figures, but those are their main. They're going to have a competitive say in this game, but ultimately, I think North Lincoln is the better team of the two.
Yeah.
Felt that even whether they had the wins or not, that they were going to have a chance to get back to this position, and here they are.
Mm-hmm. They're a solid team, very solid. I think they're one of the. They've battle tested. You know, they played North.
Yep.
They lost a game, but they played them, and that's important. You got to play competition to get ready for it.
Actually, they played Southeast Alamance too, and Southeast wanted the buzzer after being down by double figures. So play again, and that was at Lakes Giving too.
Yeah,
so,
that was. I think I do remember that.
Yes, that was at the beginning of the season. And so there is a chance. I'm fairly confident that this will be the rematch of that game.
Yep.
I will say Rocky Mount under Coach Gainey, they are very tough defensively, and Kira Jones is one of the most efficient guards in the East.
Love that.
Her and Keisha Mizell are a fantastic duo, and I think they will be competitive for a little while, but ultimately I feel like Southeast Alamance is too efficient and has too many weapons, especially Rihanna Johnson being back from injury is huge for them down the stretch of this season. Her and Clara LaChapelle and Shania Paler, they were a big part of that team last year that won the whole thing. They're undefeated this year, and they also have a good chance to win. I think if it comes down to those two teams, it will come down to the last possession.
Yeah, I can see that being a really good game. Talented squads for sure. I think it's going to be. I just love good games. I'm going to try to watch as much as I can. You know, busy days, but I try to get to as many of those games at least to watch them on NFHS. But we'll see if hopefully they're showing everything. So we got Terry Sanford in 71st in one region in the 6A, and then Northern Guilford and Alexander Central in the other one. This is one of the regions that's chalk. 1C, 2C, 1C, 2C. I had Terry Sanford from the beginning. Even seeing them play when we played against them at the John Wall, they're a very talented team. They have literally everything you could want in a group. They have size, they have guard play, they can shoot the ball, they pressure the ball, they can score it. Mia does a really good job of setting her teammates. Jada or Jediah, don't want to say her name wrong. Jada Blake. Jada does a really good job of creating and scoring. She's a crafty guard. Their bigs do a really good job as well.
Honestly, they've been the team to beat out east all season. Mia Brown, of course, is heading to Fayetteville State next year. Always plays with a lot of toughness and grit. Shoots the ball like you said. She shoots the ball. She shoots cover off the ball.
She lit us up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had a front row seat to that game, but
yeah,
you guys were down big in that game and found a way to win overtime.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure Coach Goodman would obviously it's probably in the past now, but I'm sure he would love that game back.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a side note thing. Alani Sky Wilkerson was a massive addition for them, and as a matter of fact, she was at 71st before she went to Terry. So that's what makes that matchup very interesting.
That does make it very interesting.
Amaya Harrington also is starting to get some mid-major
Yeah,
offers and interests.
she was really good when I
Yes,
saw her.
his team is young too. Like Amia is the
Mhm.
only Amia and Naya Marcellin are the only seniors on their rotation, so they
Okay,
will have this group back next year too, along with uh, along with a very good freshman class that's coming and current freshmen and sophomores that may not play as much that have grown into better players as the season's gone on.
right.
Uh, 71st under coach Brandy Ingram has also done a great job. Uh, watch out for freshman Cadence Campbell. She's one of the top freshmen in the East and has played very well all season for them.
Okay. Then in the Western region, Northern Guilford, Lena McField is a star. I think everybody knows it. She's scoring bunches. I think she leads that team. But Alexander Central has been a really solid team this year. You look at Meredith White. She's averaging around 18 points per game, and then you have Malaya Adams, who's second in points per game, but she also leads them in assists. Um, they played a lot of good teams in that mountain area, and they've won games. I think Alexander Central was undefeated for a while before they lost.
They lost
And
Aiden first. That was their first loss.
yes, that's who it was. They lost to Maine. That was their first loss, and that's not a bad loss to a team that's
Only
in
loss
the regional final.
are
Say it
to
again.
their only losses this season are to Maiden and McDowell twice, and they beat
Mm-hmm.
McDowell the second regular season game. So
Right. No, those aren't bad losses. McDowell was a team where they
absolutely,
were they were in a regional final last year,
yes,
brought
they were.
back a lot of their team, and they were good this year. They just happened to run up against a really good North Met team, and hey, can't say much about that one. So don't I don't know. I'm always rooting for the 704 teams, even though it's none in this one. Alexander Central, we consider them a ball hurt area team, so I'm rooting for them to win. I always say that the Guilford teams have a tough time winning, but Northern Guilford's been here, so they're doing a really good job. They've improved every year to get to this point, so hopefully they can get over that hump.
Of course, like you mentioned, Lena McField has been a prolific scorer her entire career at Northern.
Yeah,
She just became not just the school's all-time leading scorer, but the county's all-time leading scorer.
yeah. As a
A
junior,
couple weeks ago, passing Elisa Kunani, who used to play at NC State,
mm-hmm.
also played at Northern. But this is not just a one-man show at Northern. Aaliyah Settle is a freshman that folks need to know about. She is
Yeah.
very athletic. She's been a great secondary scoring option for
Mm-hmm.
Northern all season, and she continuously has played better as the season has gone on. Also, adding Anaya Pearley and Georgia Lewis to that mix, they kind of have three scores that can all get double figures on a certain night, alongside Lena, who does a little bit of everything, of course. Honestly, I don't. I feel like this will be a more competitive game than people think,
Yeah.
but it's hard for me to go against what Lena has done, and it's
Mm-hmm.
also hard for me to go against how good Terry Sanford's been against the competition out east. They lost some tough ones early, lost
Yeah.
one to y'all, lost to Lake Norman, North Met, but these are all teams that are either won a state championship or are still playing right now.
Or still playing right now. Yep.
They've been very competitive in a lot of those games, so it's hard for me to go against those two. I think those two will get states.
Yeah. I would love to see Terry Sanford get them one. They've been right there
Yes, they've
uh
been the regional
for
slot
the last few years.
now.
And I think it's time that Coach Goodman gets them one. I think they've earned that right to be there for sure. Did I do 6A? Was it? That was 6A, right?
Yes, indeed. Yep.
And let's go 7A. This is one that I've been excited about. 7A. You look at on the Eastern region, I'll let you talk a little bit about it. I know a little bit about South Gardner. I don't know about Southern Durham. I don't know when they get the School of Energy and Science thing. It used to just be
That was very recent. That was
okay. So Southern Durham versus South Gardner. You can talk a little bit about those two teams.
Absolutely. South Garner and Southern Durham have been the top two seeds for a reason. I had a bit of a. I'll admit, I wasn't sure how they would do against their conference opponents when they played them in the state playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But both of them have passed those tests with flying colors. Southern Durham with Chapel Hill beating them by 2, and South Garner playing the always tough Southeast Raleigh and beating
Mm-hmm.
them by 5. And in South Garner's case, this is still a they're very talented, but they're still a very young team. Like
Yeah, very
they
young.
have one senior who is unfortunately out for the year, and I hope NC
Yeah,
Central Chloe Crawford. I hope she feels better.
yeah.
But
I hope she makes a full recovery and gets back healthy.
and it was an unfortunate injury when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
However, the Titans have done a fantastic job in her absence, uh, with basically no seniors besides Chloe that play.
Yeah.
I actually she might be the only senior. I have to check that.
Is Taylor a senior?
Taylor Moore's a junior.
Okay.
So yeah, everybody else is freshman, sophomore, junior, and they got these two freshmen, Mackenzie Dillard and Aaliyah Ballard, who
Yeah,
have
for sure.
really helped pace this attack. Taylor
Mm-hmm.
Darden off the bench, sophomore guard, has also been very good.
Yeah.
Of course, Harley Clark and Taylor Moore and Khalees Crawford are
Mm-hmm.
a force defensively. It's hard to score on that trio of front court size and versatility. Uh,
Yes.
and they played Southern Durham the very first game of the year and beat them by 35.
Whew.
Uh, However, I do not believe it will be like that this time. I think
Yeah.
Southern Durham has also gotten better as the season's gone on. They've
Right.
only really lost that game into Terry Sanford and to Southeast
Mm-hmm.
Alabama. That's their only 3 losses.
It's not bad losses. And see, but that's one of the things I don't understand about rankings. If I'm South Gardner, I beat you. Why are you the 1 seed and I'm the 2?
That's that
Doesn't
is
make sense.
yeah, kind of it's a computer formula and it spits
Right.
out who's the seeds.
Yeah. I mean, but if I
But
beat you head to head,
as a side note, how I feel about the RPI is you see these 4 teams that are here, these are
mhm,
the 4 best teams left.
yes, I agree.
Like the teams that are good enough will be in this position.
Hmm.
And even though South Garner was the 2 seed, they still got to play all their playoff games at home before regional. So
Right. Which makes sense either way.
yes,
So yeah.
but to continue talking about this matchup, uh, honestly, in Southern Durham's case, yes, they got pummeled in the first game, and
Hmm.
that sometimes and South Garner has done that to a lot of teams this year. They've been that
Yes.
good, especially since the end of December into
Mhm.
January and so on. They've been really good. South Garner's gotten a lot, or I'm sorry, well they have, but Southern Durham has gotten a lot better as the season's gone on.
Yeah.
Ashlyn Hudson is one of the hardest working players I've seen over the last few years. As someone who's like 5'8" and is out there rebounding with all the trees, getting
Hmm.
doubles at her size, and also being uh, very efficient offensively. Uh, and I've honestly been very impressed with her and Jacayla Palmer and Aaliyah Herndon.
Right.
They've really become consistent performers throughout the season. Uh, and honestly, I still favor South Garner in this game,
Yeah.
despite what I said about Southern Durham. But I think it will be a lot closer game than what it was in November.
Right. When I saw 7A come out, I saw South Gardner actually being in the state championship. I thought that would be the team that actually gets there and possibly win it. When you look on the Western region, Lake Norman versus North Meck, uh, I asked that question because last night about how many times have they played. I've been to the gym and seen them play a lot of basketball against each other. So the last 3 or 4 times that they played in the playoffs, Lake Norman's won all 3. Lake Norman's been dominating North Meck, but North Meck beat them this summer. Although Jetta wasn't on the team for Lake Norman, I think she does make a bit of a difference. But this is going to be a high level game. Lanice is Lanice Joseph. She's going to be very active around the rim. She's going to make shots. She's going to be efficient. You have to gas her out, though. I mean, like realistically, I don't know if Autumn Lacey is playing. I don't. I know she was hurt or she didn't play last game. I don't know if it was injury or what it
She did
was.
come back
But
against McDowell. She played.
say it again.
She did come back against McDowell.
Okay, so she. I don't think she played against Marvin Ridge. If
Oh,
I'm,
oh,
if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But they still have enough talent to win this game, and they have enough motivation to win this game. Not beating Lake Norman in playoffs should be motivation enough. Lanice has never beat none of those players have ever beat Lake Norman during a regular season game. So that should be enough motivation in itself. But for Lake Norman, their motivation is we want to prove that we're the best team. We're the number one team. We're the number one seed. We're one of the best teams in the state. Coach Mackenzie Graham does a really good job of preparing, making sure her team is ready to play these type of games. You look at, I love this story about Kaylee Ellis. She waited her turn. She's the point guard for Lake Norman, and she does a really good job. And they pressure you so much. Rayana Menard, Kaya Bond, they are two athletic pieces that came in last year and made an impact immediately. They were really good when they were at West Cadair, so they got even better because they got around more talent when they were at Lake Norman. And then, of course, I can't go without mentioning Kelsey Ryan. Kelsey Ryan's going to be a gamer. She's had games where maybe it didn't look that good, but when it comes to time where she feels like, hey, my team needs me, she's going to knock down shots. She's going to play harder than everybody else, and she's going to make the right pass for her team to win. At the beginning of the year, she mentioned that she doesn't have to guard as many post players. So I wonder will she guard Lanice this time because the last time they played, she was guarding Lanice, and it makes a difference because she builds on you, she kind of hits on you, she uses her body to really play defense. I do have Lake Norman in this game. I think they continue their path towards another state championship.
this is kind of hard to pick. Of all the games that we've named so far, this was by far the most difficult one that to pick because these are two programs that have been consistently good. Obviously, like Norman's been they were defending champs for 4A in the old format.
Yeah.
They returned just about every well. They lost a lot to graduation, but they returned enough to keep still be really good, and then
Right.
added back Jeddah North.
Yeah.
Uh, they they've always, as you mentioned, their pressure defense is probably the best around,
Yeah.
uh, and they really are efficient. And also, Finley Sherrill is also a fantastic player for them
For sure.
too. She's grown into a great player. Uh,
Yes.
but part of me really sees the vision with North Met
Mm.
because they've they figured out ways to win even when the offense struggled. Like they defend their tails off. Baker's one of the
Yeah.
best minds around.
For
Uh,
sure.
Lanice is one of my favorite players to watch in this state.
I love Lanice's game since she was a freshman.
She always performs at a high level. Every time she
Mhm.
steps out, she performs at a high level.
Very much
Uh,
so. She's very efficient. I think that's one of the things people don't understand about her. Like,
she
it's not that she shoots a bunch of shots. Like, she may have 13 shots and end up with 26 points.
absolutely, like she gets to the line too, knocks down free throws,
Mhm.
knocks down jumpers, layups. I mean, she really could score from anywhere. Defends great.
Yes.
Uh, Obviously, this is not just her show though. I think
Hmm.
Stephanie Mobley has been a very fantastic defender and player for Coach
Sure.
Baker. Uh, if she's knocking down the three ball, I know what she's going to do defensively. If she provides enough of a spark offensively for this group,
Hmm.
I really think that they can find a way to win this game. But I think the concern is that they might be without Kalia Jones the rest of the way because she got hurt in the McDowell game, and I hope she feels better too.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think she was. I don't think she's going to play. She was on crutches the
yes,
last time I saw her. So.
Yeah, obviously that is a massive loss for North Met because she's
Yeah,
also someone who defends very well and really provides a lot of spark for them. But I feel like as long as if North Met can control the pace of the game and not let the pressure defense get to them, limit the turnovers,
right.
I think Lanice is the game breaker that could knock Lake Norman off their perch.
Mm. It's going to be a very interesting one. I think this one is going to be good, and I would love to see both teams play against South Garner, because South Garner's size, I can speak from experience. It makes a difference.
Yes,
It
yes,
makes a
has
difference.
front court size like South Garner's has across the board.
Yeah, for sure. Taylor Moore makes cards out space like no other. So I would love to see how she does versus Lanice Joseph. And then last but not least, we go to 8A. You got Hoggart and Willow Springs and Ardrey and Malik Creek. I'm going to start with the West. Ardrey 1 seed, deserving, even though, again, this is one of those ones where the 2 seed has beat the 1 seed, but it doesn't matter because now it's a neutral court. Ardrey has been on a heater. I think I said they won 19 games in a row. If I'm not mistaken, last loss was to Lake Norman. And Autumn Washington, Aaliyah, it's been really good. Imani Shelton, they've been really getting John. Shout out to Coach Rory over there. I, I mean, her last name may not be Rory no more, but no hard feelings. Coach Latavia, I've known her since high school, so she's done a great job with that squad, getting them to this point, getting them to this regional final, getting Autumn Washington back where she was as far as like motivation. She probably doesn't need it, but you still as a coach, you have to get that kid back to that mental capacity of being able at that high level. They're going to be in this game, but I do think Mallard Creek wins it. I think this is the year Coach Dixon gets it done, and with Camry Hobbs, Kiki Anderson, I think they do a really good job. If Jasmine is making shots, Myaja's doing what she does. Uh, if everybody else around contributes in this game and those players have their game they should, last game that they played, Cameron Hobbs had 20 points on 7 for 10 shooting. She is a big mismatch. I think this is going to be a good game, but I do think Mallard Creek wins it.
I honestly, this is actually another game that is going to be hard to pick. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to pick either of these teams because I too also, even though I haven't gotten to watch RGK other than preseason,
Mm-hmm.
Coach Latavia and her squad have done a fantastic job this year. Everyone you mentioned, I mean, Imani's going to UMass. Autumn Washington became the all-time leading scorer at that school, and she didn't even play. She lost an entire season due to
The
it.
whole year. Yeah.
That's impressive. She
That's how many
basically
buckets she was getting. Yeah.
so she's been impressive. Layla Mapp also being back healthy is a
Yes.
major contributor for that team.
Yeah.
And Hairston freshman is going to be very good.
Mhm.
They really have found a way to gel and be competitive in these games, and they have really done a great job getting to this point.
Right.
Uh, but I like you. I feel like it's hard to go against KD and Mallard Creek.
Yeah.
Uh, they've had some tough losses to good teams. I know they lost to North Meg in the conference tournament and the second regular season game.
Yeah.
Shame losing to North Meg. I mean, they're still playing. I mean,
Yep.
uh, but Kiki, Myaja, Jazz, and Camry, they've kind of been flip flopping between been the main scoring option.
Mm-hmm.
It comes down to the matchup of Myaja and Imani Shelton.
Mm-hmm.
If whoever wins that matchup will have their say in who wins this game. And
Yeah.
Myaja is very sound defensively. Uh, does a lot of the dirty work, makes a lot of winning plays for their team.
Right.
And Imani Shelton is the same way. So it's who can provide extra opportunities for their team the the most in this game, and I think that will be a major difference in this game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. With Hoggard and Willow Springs, I haven't seen much of either one, so I'm gonna leave that one to you. The Eastern region, you got it.
Well, Hoggard is back in the regional finals. This is their third consecutive year that they've made it to the
Mm,
regional finals, and they play a slow, methodical pace, but they have heavy hitters that can go get to it. Tristan Shivers, the Bellarmine commit at guard, has been long been consistent performer for this team. She's really provided not just scoring, but also being one of the top players in the state in assists. She
yeah.
creates well in both areas, and she also defends well. Averages 3 steals a game. I mean, she really does it. She's really the engine that makes this Hogger team go.
Okay.
Uh, Ella Jones has been a revelation of sorts. Uh, Left-handed, really can score from anywhere. Very efficient. Anna Kate Chance, AK, she's a knockdown 3-point shooter. And then Early Altman and Anna Fitzgerald, like they really are balanced scoring wise.
Hmm.
Or I'm sorry, Avery Fitzgerald. I say Anna. Uh, but they're really balanced. But Tristan Shivers really gets the entire team involved at a high rate, and that's why they've been able to get this far every year. And they only have really lost in the postseason the last 2 years. So they're going to have their say in this game. In Willow Spring, they have really emerged as one of the best teams in the 919 over the
Yeah.
last several weeks. Had a tough loss to Green Level early in conference play when their post player Taylor Gray was in foul trouble. But I think for them, uh, Taylor Gray, as long as she stays on the court, will be a mismatch problem for Hoggard, and I want to see how Hoggard can combat that. Uh,
Yeah.
but really, the difference maker for Willow this year has been adding Anila and Lily Temple. This pair of sisters that are very, very talented. Anila's got actually both of them have D1 offers.
Yeah.
Anila as a freshman and Lily as a sophomore uh, have really provided a spark outside shooting, getting to the paint, knocking down free throws, defending. Like Anila herself as a freshman, also Fab 40 kid, by the way.
Mhm.
And so I think Lily was too. Uh, but they Anila has been breaking single season records at Willow Spring as a ninth grader. She might shatter all of them as long as she's still there. So this game will be very talented. This has a lot of talent on both sides.
Yeah.
Uh, Me personally, I'm going with the upset. I think Willow Springs is going to get this done.
Hmm. I like it. I like the upset. I guess two seeds will be a interesting battle. I think that'll be a good game as well. But Coach, that's it. I think we appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. We love the content that you give. Uh, Keep bringing it to the community. Uh, Happy birthday again. I told you before, but shout out to you and happy birthday. Hopefully, it's a great one. And I appreciate you giving all the information that you gave today on this platform. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words. Once again, congrats to you guys at Canon, three-peat, and I think y'all are. I know you guys y'all have been a force in this state for a long time, and y'all are going to keep it rolling. And I definitely look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon. Hopefully, we can catch up and get a you know
Yeah.
I get a lot of knowledge from the West from you, so
Yeah. For
I'm
sure.
very grateful for your support and all that.
Yes,
So
sir.
thank you very much.
No, for sure. Thank you, Coach. Well, we appreciate you, Bar Hoops. We are out.